What's up, y'all? It's Ashley Marie, and you are watching Issa Mindset Thing Podcast. And today I have someone so dear to me in my heart, my best friend.
I'm Shamanique.
Shamanique, yes. So what I wanted to start with is kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say, I'm finna blast our business out.
Ooh, I love it. Yes.
I'm finna blast our business. So, because it segues into what it is that we're going to be talking about anyways.
Yeah.
We fell out.
Yeah.
And without the details, of course, because that ain't their business, right?
100%.
So when we fell out,
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I realized was that I didn't know how to be a friend.
Yeah.
Or what a healthy relationship or a friendship looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm thankful for is that we were able to sit down and have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like two women, because a lot of other people I've noticed, and you probably know too, we try and have conversations with them, and it's like you can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just like talk about what went wrong and both people take accountability, because the whole purpose is us getting to a solution, because like the friendship's important.
Right.
So how did you feel after we like actually talked about it?
Okay, so before I answer your question, I also want to add, right, that like our falling out was very recent, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like we've known each other since 2003, and we just fell out. Like we've never had any type of, we may have gone years or maybe like a year or so without talking to each other because of life, but we've never had right now I need space from you. Right. Like a friendship break.
Yeah. Or like we're not seeing eye to eye.
Right.
We've never, And I was thinking about that too. I was like, this is the first time.
Yeah.
I think when we were like, I don't know, like 15 or younger or something, probably younger than 15, the first time we fell out. And it taught me a lot, girl.
Same. And I think that luckily, because we both have grown since, we first met each other, we've grown so much just as women, as mothers, that we are able to, pick apart ourselves, pick apart different situations. And we were able to, like you said, take accountability and understand, okay, because of this or that, I see how you felt this or that way.
Perspective. Yeah. It's like we can see each other's perspective and put aside whatever like ego that we have. Yeah. And it made me think about how I'm unable to do that with so many people in my life. And I have been for so long. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure, I know you probably have been as well. Yeah. And it's like, so my reflective question for both of us is more to you and to me, like, what do you think a healthy friendship or relationship looks like? And like, could you say that you've never seen that, good and bad? Like, have you had experience with actually healthy or even been taught that?
So friendship, I feel like I'm working on that. And I'm gonna be very honest. I feel like with you, I'm working on that, right? To try to create a healthy friendship on both levels. I feel like in relationships or friendships, it takes two people. So sometimes I feel like I'm being good enough and I'm giving someone what they need, but maybe they're not giving it to me. But then I'm also maybe not communicating what I need. I'm just assuming they're going to give it to me because, I'm giving in my love language, like, hey, this is what I need, but then they're not giving that to me. So that kind of,
and I think a conflict. I do the same thing, and I did the same thing with us, and we talked about that too. Yeah, I think it's because when you're just thinking about it rationally, it's like it makes sense. Like, how do you not see what I'm already feeling? How are you not reading my mind? And it's obvious.
Yeah, you've known me for so long, and people do that in relationships all the time. It's like, you're around me, like in a relationship aspect, right? It's like, you're around me every day. How do you not know that this is what I like or this is what I want? Or
this is how I would expect for you to respond to something. Right. Like, we just think that people are so intuitive that they just know exactly how to respond and exactly what we're thinking or feeling. Yeah. And then we take it offensively when they don't. But the whole time we ain't even talked about it.
Yeah. I can say the one healthy relationship It's so crazy. I'm about to say this like,
spit it out, girl. Spit it out.
It's with my stepmom.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah. Like,
I can see that.
That's like throughout
no surprise.
Yeah. I know, but it's just hard to say it. But like, you know, throughout my entire like childhood, when I look back, you know, she doesn't have any kids of her own. We are her kids, you know? So she really studied and read books on how to be a good parent. You know, she learned all of us, you know, all three of us. She tried to figure out what each of us need. And now that I'm older and I'm a mom, I really have been able to reflect and see like, oh, like she really showed me, you know, what communication and love and meeting someone where they're at looks like. And she always gives me advice spiritually, like every time I come to her.
And that's so needed. Like when you have somebody like that. And that reminds me like with my daughter, since I was never shown the same way we were never shown like how to show up in a relationship, friendship or whatever, maybe relationships, because people talk about what a man's supposed to be, what a woman's supposed to be. We've heard that more than like how to show up as a family member, brother, sister, cousin, uncle, whatever. But definitely as a parent, because I had never seen how to actually be a parent 100%.
Yeah, same.
I would, since she was born, I would research and go online and look for ways on how to be a parent or what to look for and all of that. And so that is so significant that she did that with you, because honestly, like that's when a person looks into how to be better in their position in your life, they literally love you. They literally care so much. And I feel that a lot of people don't do that.
For me, it kind of showed me and taught me that like I can't be, the term I use, I don't know if this is a real term, but a blanket parent, right? So someone who has multiple children, right? They kind of just do the same for all. That's what I call it, a blanket parent. They just, you know, they do the same for all of them because that's
a good term though.
Yeah, thank you.
Blanket parent.
Yeah, it just
you need to coin that.
Okay.
You came up with that.
That's mine. But like, you know, it's like, you know, when you blanket parent, it's like you're just doing the same for all of them because it's easier, right? It's easier just to do for one, you do for all of them. But you have to learn each one of your kids individually. So you can understand how to, you know, they need to receive love. What
love languages are probably
what
different.
Motivates them, right, to be better. Like some kids, you like it's almost like when you're in sports. Some players, they need you to, you know, be on their. Wait, can I cuss on here?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
We still grown. You can say ass. I do even say be on their ass.
Yeah, like it's
be on their ass.
Yeah, so you got to be on their ass
and sometimes beat their ass.
Okay, not as an athlete and a coach, but as a parent, maybe that's you if that's what you need. You know, I don't gentle parent, so
not at all.
Take that as you want.
The kids ain't gentle nowadays. Yeah. We're not gentle.
No, for sure. But it's, you know, like how, you know, like athletes are, like some athletes, you can just tell them what to do and they got it, right? Other athletes, they need you to be on them, like tough as nails. And then other athletes, it's like you tell them a couple times and eventually it's the same thing with kids, you know, like, so sometimes I feel like parents, they don't take the time to individually know all of their children, especially when you have multiple. Again, when you have one, I'm sure it's a lot easier. I was going to say,
because so, you know, I'm very active with my cousins. And so them in total, it's like 5 of them. With them, I treat them like everybody's about to get the same treatment. Yeah. Because I don't like the favoritism. Because growing up, my brother, you know, I have 19 brothers and sisters, but I was the closest with my brother, Justin. And he was a little terrorist. Yes, if you're seeing this, you were a terrorist. For sure. You know it. You know it. But he was a terrorist. And he used to get kind of like favored or babied, and then I wouldn't, and I'd get in trouble for stuff for him. So I think,
where was he? Older, younger than you?
Oh, he's younger. Yeah.
Oh, that's usually why. Yeah, babies always get that treatment.
For sure. Yeah, for sure. And so, so when he would do that, I think that ingrained me to be like, all kids should be treated equal. Yeah. And I'm so like passionate about it. But then again, so I do that with my cousins, right?
Yeah.
But then again with them, I'm not their parent. Yeah. So I don't know what it looks like to have multiple kids and then say like everybody has to be treated individually, learn individual. Me, I'd be like, one for all for one. Yeah. This is what you're about to get. But that's a great perspective though that I never looked at from an actual parent who has more than multiple kids. And it's like you're raising them in individual ways.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that for you. I love that. Well, and so with kids going into healthy relationships, right? Because that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So with Kimani, with my daughter, I learned, speaking of healthy relationships, since I was not taught or didn't have, and didn't have like that relationship with my parents. With her, that's what's made me so motivated to say like the same thing that you just said, but just one.
Yeah.
But I'm like, she's an individual. I have to learn how she is. Like as a parent, I have to individualize my care for her and make sure that she has an open space because I want to show her that it's possible to have a positive relationship with your mother. It's just like my mom had one child, I only have her. And, in a lot of Black families, there's a lot of the mother-daughter dynamic that is so toxic, especially when it's just like one from what I've seen. So I'm literally trying to break that cycle and have that conversation with her. And I stopped yelling, thank the Lord, because I used to yell a lot. But that same approach, I think, is about the same thing that I'm doing because it makes sense. Like you got to learn your kid. Yeah. And also to show them like what a healthy relationship looks like. And I also talked to my daughter about her friends, like her interactions with them. I don't know if you had like these type of conversations with the girls or anything.
Yes, I do.
You got to talk to them and be like, I'm going to show you what a real friend looks like or what a fake friend or when like the jokes come in and they actually have something behind it. Like we have to teach our kids that. Yeah. Do you have those type of conversations?
So I'm going to say yes and probably a little bit no. So the conversations, because, Zara, she's very introverted, so she kind of has her core friends from middle school, and those are her people. She not making no other friends.
She said no new friends.
Yeah,
no
we locked in, and we gonna stay right there. But with Ariana, she's a social butterfly. Like she's a Virgo. Yes. So you that's how we throw it up. You already know. Like y'all are just you walk into a room and you end up you leave with 5
social
friends.
Butterfly. Yeah.
Like not even trying to. And so with her, I kind of just ingrained in her, like regardless of what friendships you cultivate, don't allow people to talk about other people when they're not around. Because especially in high school, I told her, I said, you're a pretty girl. Regardless of what happens, if someone's there and they're talking about someone else and maybe you're not even paying attention, but you laugh, now someone's going to think that you think that also. And then now you're in drama. So I just kind of just told her like you can be cool with whoever you want. Just don't insert yourself in something, that has nothing to do with you. Like,
and that's a principle that some adults don't even know.
Yeah.
That it's like, and that's like loyalty. I love that. And that makes sense. Cause even when we talk, we don't be talking about people. We be talking about growth.
Yeah.
When those conversations that you have with your friends, it gotta be about things that matter, things that are about growth or helping somebody, not somebody, but helping your friend get through it. That aligns 100%. I love that so much. Like, cause that whole, like with the cattiness with the kids and the teenage girls, she's gone through that as well. Kimani has. And I'm just like, listen, these are the signs.
Yeah.
This is not your friend. Or if somebody has done this or that, like you got to back away from them.
You
or
have
don't.
to. Yeah. Just, it's because it all goes back, right, to like keeping your peace, keeping your mind right. If you start, he said, she said, and it just starts to distract you from what the goal is. You're at school to learn and get good grades because we need to get you to college. Like, period. This is the goal. Like,
you're not here to be in all of the mess.
Yeah. Making friends is a bonus to going to school, but that's not,
And so I'm glad Kimani, she never really had that problem with the distraction. It was like maybe over loyalty or whatever, which she must get that from her mother. Right.
Yeah.
But she's told me one day, she was like, there were certain friends she was growing apart from. And in so many words, she basically said she was not aligned with those friends. But of course, she didn't use those words.
Right.
She was telling me that basically, what was she saying? It was like, she wanted to be So my daughter wanted to become friends with people who were into the same things as her.
Right.
And then the girls that she went to elementary school with, they start drinking and smoking and doing all the other stuff. And she was like, I don't do that.
Yeah.
That's not aligned with me. I'm more so into anime, into gaming and all of that. And she's like, Mom, I really want to meet friends that are like that. And I was like, that's okay. Yeah. You're growing away from these people.
Right.
You're not aligned with these people.
It's okay to outgrow people.
It's okay to outgrow them. It's not a problem that, you don't align with them or you don't have share the same values or the same likes or whatever.
Yeah.
And at that moment I was like, okay, that was a life lesson. Yeah. Like and I'm looking at her like, girl, I know I'm saying the same shit. I'm making the same analogies of going on like,
because like, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, like I said, we've been best friends for like, I am not doing the math mentally, honestly, but forever. Girl, yeah. And, just with our own friendships, right, that we've had and people coming in and out of our lives, but, and it's the same thing. Like, in one phase of life, you may be into a certain thing. So you align yourself with those type of people. Yeah. And then, when you're no longer in that space, you get removed, even if it's a hurtful removal or if
it's just neutral.
Yeah. It's just like hey,
and that's what I was just,
cool.
I was just talking about that on the phone today. Like there's a friend that I did that with and it's like, I didn't fall out. I don't hate you. Yeah. We don't have any beef. But once I noticed that we don't align, your lifestyle, my lifestyle, whatever, they don't match up. Then now it's maybe a time to reevaluate what we're doing here. Yeah. And I think that goes for anybody. If it's a healthy relationship, we have to share the same values. We have to be on the same page with how we at least view principles of life.
I would say maybe similar, maybe not same.
Okay, maybe right? Same is more like relationship.
Yeah. I would say so maybe not friends. Similar. We could be on the same path, or heading in the same direction. And maybe, maybe your GPS tells you to
not
turn,
GPS.
Maybe
your inner navigation.
Yeah, because think about it, as long as we're going to the same location, you may choose the longer path, right? Because you want to see the ocean and the trees, and I'm just like, I just want to get there, right? And so our paths may be different, but we still have the same goal. So for me, I feel like that's okay, right? To have those type of people in your life, because even though I may not, head this way like you, we still know at the end of all this, we're reaching the same place.
And then some people you just got to cut the fuck off.
Yeah, because some just got to go. Because they flipped a bitch and went that way. Like, wait, we were supposed to go forward, not backward.
They flipped the bitch and they flipped the bitch and went that way.
I'm sorry.
Oh shit! Okay, they flipped the bitch and went this way. So, bitch, we not even on the same road no more. We not going the same way. I gotta cut you off.
Not at all. Like,
matter of fact,
we're different.
Listen,
and that's okay.
Oh shit, that was funny.
Thank you. Fuck. I'm only this funny on the phone. Like.
But that's how we be on the phone. That's what's crazy.
No, for sure.
No, and I totally understand that analogy because I think that totally aligns. Yeah, and sometimes people just gotta get cut off, and it's not always a bad thing.
Yeah. Sorry. But even like in relationships, so like let's say with like you were that kind of was like with friends, right? But even in relationships, I do think that it's healthy because I feel like a lot of relationships end usually with like toxic endings, and it's always just like either yelling or screaming or hating someone and holding in like resentment for something that someone did.
Yeah.
But I love it when like more so recent, I've been able to part ways with people and it's just cool. Like, like we tried
maybe that's easier when you're in a talking phase because when you're in a relationship and you've invested so much time, that's when it's harder to leave off. Like, okay, we're just going to be cool. And hey, this 5-6 years we've been together, we're just going to dip off. That's when there's a challenge. But I do think that when you're talking to somebody and in that phase, that is the prime time to be able to cut somebody off because you're not vested like that yet. Yeah. And that's a very wise thing that you're even able to do because in that point, you got to it early.
Yeah.
Before you were able to see the actual backlash of the clash itself. So I agree with that, but I think it's way harder in relationships because most time relationships end up, maybe, restraining orders. Like
yeah, true. In some cases,
some extreme cases.
I'm
maybe.
more so saying like with like my ex-husband. I'm like talking too much about him, but it's just that's my really most recent example. Even though yes, we had like a tumultuous relationship and it was pretty toxic, and we went through what we went through. Mm-hmm. The end of it, we didn't leave like hating each other. It was more so like, I remember him telling me like, he's like, I just want you to love me the way that I need to be loved. And I just I literally looked over at him because we were in the car driving. He was driving and I was a passenger princess.
Passenger seat princess. Love it.
I miss those days. Anyways, not with him, but just
okay.
I hate driving, but anyways, okay. But like back to what we're saying, but I just looked at him and I just told him, I said,
okay, you got it.
Okay. I was like, if I'm not giving you the love that you need to go find that.
Facts.
Like not on some like, I hate you or, you hate me, but it's just simple. The fact is, if I'm not enough,
then go find enough.
Yeah. And, know.
And that's why it always to me goes back to alignment. I don't know what's going on. Like I've been all about alignment lately. Yeah. Alignment with God's purpose, alignment with my friendships, relationships, even alignment at my job. Like if it's not aligned, if it don't feel right with me, then I will say peace. Yeah. With no problem. Yeah. So I understand that. But I had another segue question. Mm-hmm. So kind of along the same lines. I wanted to know, well, not wanted to know just from you, but like this reflection question for both of us. Patterns. Let's say, what are some patterns that where you're at now, you can look back and say, I've actually successfully unlearned and learned new patterns to replace them. That's heavy, huh?
Yeah,
that's heavy.
Yeah, just like in life in general.
Yeah, in general, and I mean, it could be in general. Just just when it comes down to healing and having childhood traumas or traumas, even as an adult, just traumas in general, we have to unlearn to learn. Yeah. So when you're looking at the things that you've unlearned, and what you have learned, that's what I'm saying. Like, what are those things?
I feel like the biggest lessons I've had to learn is from me being a mom. Like that's one thing that, I've never been able to stop doing, right? I can stop talking to people. I can stop, being married, being in a relationship, but I can never stop being a mother, so that has taught me something the most. I saw, like with my mom, our relationship wasn't that great. And, I would talk to her and tell her things, and I always wanted to create that safe place for my kids. But with my mom, she just has like a gossiping spirit. Love her to death, but just, it just is what it is. And so I try my best to not do that with my children. And I think there has been moments. What do you mean,
like not gossip with them?
No, or like about their business. So there was a moment. I didn't realize that I was doing it until my daughter told me. Actually, like she told me recently, she was like, well, actually, Mom, a few years ago, you were kind of telling my business, and I was thinking that I was, saying what I was saying to not like vent, but more so to gain some type of knowledge and maybe someone else's perspective. Mm-hmm. But at the end of it, I was telling her business. So I had to kind of unlearn that just because I'm seeking counsel, right, in someone who is on the same playing field as me, like you're a mom too, like, what do you think I should do? I had to learn that some of my daughter's business is nobody's business.
Yes. And I've done the same thing. If I feel that it's going to be valuable when I go to an elder to say, hey, I'm going through this as a parent. Yeah. And I don't know how to deal with it. Right. And I know you can give me some guidance. Right. But in that guidance, I'm going to have to tell you what happened. Yeah. And I've had an incident that was very personal that I know would have probably been embarrassing to my daughter. And so I decided to go do research and look things up and, do it in that type of way versus go and talk to somebody about it, because I would have to divulge her business.
Yeah.
And she wouldn't even know if I did, but just it didn't feel right to do that. And that was the same thing growing up. I dealt with my grandmother gossiping with my great grandmother about me.
Yeah.
And I think it was a normal thing. Like, it is something that's just like instilled in those older generations.
Yeah, they just talk about,
and they're not meaning harm.
Yeah.
So she would go and it might have been venting about something, whether it was exaggerating or not. I'd say mostly exaggerating, probably. Yeah. But she might go and seek some type of guidance from my great grandmother, or just tell her or vent or whatever. But the whole time I would actually hear her. I'm like, you're talking about me.
Yeah. And I'm like,
and
here.
At that time when I was growing up, I didn't feel that I had any kind of voice to begin with.
Because the child's supposed to be seen and not heard.
Not heard, right. So when I'm growing up, I don't have a voice. I don't have an outlet. I'm an only child on my mom's side. So I was by myself.
Yeah.
I didn't have my parents. And I'm hearing my caregiver talk about me. So then when I would go around my great grandmother, she would already have this preconceived notion, and she would treat me as such. And that was the most hurtful thing. Not only am I being talked about, but then it's like,
you're also not trying to get to know me.
Yeah, you don't want to get to know me. And then growing up, I didn't really talk that much, which is kind of hard to believe. But I was more I was more introverted.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't like gonna go say, "Hey, grandma, let's have this conversation." Number one, conversations were not even happening in my family.
Yeah.
It was just whatever I heard, whatever was happening, and I just dealt with it and I internalized it. And that too turned into just deep-seated issues that I never knew happened until I started to go to therapy, until I started to talk about problems. And especially when I started to actually, like, I was a parent myself, that's when I started to see and reflect on how I was raised. Because I look at how I'm raised as being like, whatever happened then that made me feel bad, I'm going to make sure I'm not going to be that for my daughter. I'm going to be the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like I parent, I don't want to say parent in reverse, but I take lessons in reverse from what they didn't do or what they did do. I'm going to do the opposite of what that was. So that whole gossiping thing, I really feel like that's in Black families.
Yeah. No,
and some of them still to this day.
Yeah. They still do it, and it's crazy because, I know you had mentioned, like breaking like the cycle, right? Like,
got to break the cycle.
And it's wild because I definitely feel like our generation, that generation that grew up with, dial up and MySpace and, AOL, like, you know what I'm saying? And like 106 in Park, like that generation. We definitely have been able to see, we still understand like the old school ways, but we also are very open to, mental health, really being important where we can be that foundation and we can be that generation that does help break that cycle, right? Yeah. Because the problem with breaking the cycle is a lot of us feel that I'm the one who's going to break it, right? But I feel like we're the generation who's like the seed planter. So we're not...
Some of us, the ones who are not as bold are the seed planters.
Yeah. It's like some of us may not see that fruit because we're planting the seeds in our kids right now, right? To communicate, to have like an open space so that they're like that with their children.
Like your opinion does actually matter. It's not just like what I always heard was this: do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
That's so unhealthy.
Yeah.
100%. I've never said that to my daughter ever. Like, no. She's going to see what I do and she's going to try and do what I do. And if I turn a blind eye and just say, do what I say, then that's just going to set me up.
I'm not going to hold you. I say that at work when I'm training people.
Oh, okay.
Do what they say, not as they do.
Look, I could do this. I done been here.
Right. When I worked at 3 calendars, this is how you ring it in, but...
This what I do, right? She said I say that at work.
Sorry.
Girl, do as I say, not as I do. No. Because they telling me to say this to you.
Yeah, right. This is what this